Want me to say something? Fine. I'll say something. You people. You're not a race. You are a virus. You destroy the world. Everything beautiful, you poison. You drag us from our homes, you rape our daughters, murder our sons. You crack our spines and do all you can to break our will. You stab us. Then you put the knife in our hand and tell us it's our fault. And if you don't do it yourself, you stand by, close your eyes, and pretend there's nothing wrong. And then you pray to your God to silence our screams so that you can enjoy the happiness that we built for you with our blood. But it's not your fault. It's the only way you know how to be. And the only thing that will change anything is if another virus comes along and does to you what you do to us. And I hope that happens very soon.
Never whip these birds if you don't keep you and them separate. You've got to keep the white and the black separate. Let the law enforcement agencies, that's what you got them hired for. And the governor of the state of Alabama handle this thing. Now, George asked me to ask you to do that. Do him one favor. Tell your friends when you leave here between now and Tuesday, don't go up there. Leave it alone. They ain't going to handle this situation. Just leave it alone. You know, those Kennedys up there in Washington, that little old Bobby Sox and his brother, the president, they'd give anything in the world if we had some trouble here. If we don't have any trouble, we can beat them at your own game.
Yeah, like it or not, old Bull Connor was almost a blessing in disguise. Okay, maybe that's not the best choice of words, but you gotta understand, white supremacists and race soldiers, even in the 60s, couldn't be that verbal or blatant with their racism, because if you're too verbal and blatant with your racism, well, now you might, the next civil rights movement might be in your town. Now you got black people marching. Now you got the FBI snooping through your affairs. That was just too much heat. But apparently Bull Connor didn't get the memo, or he didn't get the memo in time. He got the memo a little too late that your racism that you shouldn't go on TV and tell people that you want things to stay the old way. All right. He was the Eugene Bull Connor. He was the, let me introduce you, Eugene Bull Connor. He was the commissioner of public safety. He was in control. Somebody had the good idea of giving this guy control of the fire department and the police department. So when they told him to desegregate the park, invite all colors there, he chose to close the park. When they told him to let people march, let the kids march, he chose to arrest 3,000 of them. He's the reason you see the water holes and the dogs attacking innocent, vulnerable women and children. All right. Birmingham was called Bombingham because of all the bombs that the KKK let off during the time that just so happened Mr. Bull Connor was Commissioner of Public Safety. You know, somebody was looking out for them, obviously. So, yeah, this guy was not a nice person, at least not to us. Diabolical, if you ask me. I really think it needs to be highlighted that when we see these pictures of dogs being sicked on these people and water holes being sicked on these people and police rounding them up, that these people were kids. This was the Children Crusade protests, and these children, the Children Crusade protests, they consistently protested because, for a lot of reasons. A lot of the older adult black male and women didn't want to lose their jobs, being seen protesting certain things in racist Alabama. Bull Connor was the Commissioner of Public Safety, so He was in charge of a lot of things. He had too much power, obviously. He locked up over 3,000 demonstrators over a certain amount of time. He was ordered to desegregate the parks in Birmingham, and he chose just to close them all together. So, yes, it took children to get out there and stand up. And it's very diabolical to afflict this type of pain on kids, which is why John Kennedy finally had to say something, not because of his morality, right? But he had to say something because it was all over the news and made global news. So yes, he had to finally do a. So, because of Bull Connor's actions and the police inaction to not protect vulnerable children, it backfired in their face, and it held John F. Kennedy's feet to the fire for him to do something. And then he initiated the 1964 Civil Rights Bill. Unfortunately, he was unalived before he was able to put the bill out, but his successor, Lyndon B. Johnson, he signed the bill and put it into action, the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which I would say that Bull Connor and Birmingham played a big part in. So eventually, the higher-ups, the bigwigs, the Senior Citizens Committee of Economics and other organizations in Birmingham became a little more liberal towards black division and black issues. You know, the world seeing what was going on there, and foundational black Americans comprised of over 40% of consumerism in Birmingham. So it wasn't a moral issue. It wasn't a, oh man, let me stop being racist issue. Let me have a moment of clarity issue. No, it was well, they money green just like the white people money is green. Okay? I think that's important, that it wasn't, it's important that I tell you that it wasn't about morals, it's just about the almighty green dollar. And that's the end of the show. It's your boy, Furious, aka POW, Prisoner of War. This has been brought to you by Death Before Bondage. Let's get it.